Watch this man. He's 68 years old. He trains 6 hours a day at the Shaolin Temple in Henan Province, China. No gym membership, no protein supplements, no recovery days written into a spreadsheet. He holds a single position for 3 minutes straight, full body under tension, and his muscles don't shake. They just hold. The question isn't whether what he's doing works. You can see that it works. The question is, what exactly is he doing, and why does it produce that kind of strength at that age? The answer isn't cardio. It isn't lifting. It's isometric holds. Specific, sequenced, loaded with intention. And Shaolin monks have been using this system for over 1,400 years to maintain functional strength, joint integrity, and structural durability well past 60. 7 of those holds are what we're covering today. Here's the physiology first, because it changes how you execute everything that follows. When you perform a conventional repetition, a bicep curl, a squat, you're recruiting roughly 30 to 40% of available muscle fibers at peak contraction. The movement itself limits how hard the muscle can actually fire. Isometric contraction is different. There's no movement to escape into. The muscle has to fire against a fixed resistance with nowhere to go, and peak fiber recruitment climbs to 80 to 90% of available motor units. A 2022 study published in the British Journal of Sports Medicine followed 15,000 participants over 5 years, measuring the effects of isometric training on blood pressure, cardiovascular health, and musculoskeletal strength. The isometric group showed a 10.9% reduction in systolic blood pressure, more than aerobic exercise, more than resistance training. But the structural finding was what mattered for our purposes. Tendon and connective tissue density increased significantly after 8 weeks, more than with any dynamic resistance protocol. That's not a coincidence. Tendons don't respond much to fast, dynamic loading. They respond to sustained tension held over time. Isometric holds are exactly that. This is why monks who practice these holds into their 70s maintain grip strength, shoulder stability, and hip integrity that most men lose in their 40s. The Shaolin system isn't 7 random exercises. It's a sequence that works the body in order. Hips first, then spine, then shoulder girdle, then full integration. Each hold builds the foundation the next one needs. Here's the baseline test before you start. Grip your dominant hand around a door frame at shoulder height, arms straight, and hold. Count how many seconds before you feel trembling. Most men over 50 hit it between 15 and 25 seconds. That's your number. You'll test again in 30 days. Hold 1. The horse stance, Mabu. This is the foundational isometric in the Shaolin system. Every other hold we cover today depends on the hip and quad stability this one builds. Stand with your feet wider than shoulder width, approximately 2 shoulder widths apart. Toes pointed slightly outward, about 15 degrees each foot. Now lower your hips until your thighs are parallel to the ground. Not almost parallel, parallel. Here's what most men do wrong immediately. They let their knees cave inward toward each other. Your knees need to track directly over your second toe for the entire hold. Push them out actively. Feel the outer glute engage. That's the target. Your spine stays vertical, not leaned forward, not leaned back. Stack your hips under your rib cage. Arms can be held out in front at shoulder height, fists lightly closed. Now breathe. Slow inhale through the nose, 4 counts. Slow exhale, 4 counts. The breathing is not optional. It's what separates this from a static hold into a live practice. What you should feel: deep burning in the quad, right above the knee. Mild tension in the outer hip. If you feel it in your lower back, your spine has collapsed forward. Reset. Start with 30 seconds. That's the honest beginner mark. Work toward 2 minutes over the first 3 weeks. The variation for limited knee mobility. Elevate your heels on a folded mat or 2-inch block. This reduces the angle of knee flexion while maintaining the hip load. The error most common in week 1, holding your breath at the point of maximum burn. When you stop breathing, you spike cortisol, your blood pressure jumps, and the neuromuscular benefit collapses. Breathe through it. Horse stance alone builds the platform, but platform without movement capacity is incomplete. Hold 2. The Iron Bridge, Tiegong Qiao. Lie on your back, feet flat on the floor, heels under your knees, arms at your sides, palms down. Drive through your heels and lift your hips until your body forms a straight diagonal line from knees to shoulders. Every vertebra from the base of your neck to your tailbone should be off the floor. This is the posterior chain loaded under full isometric tension. Glutes, hamstrings, erector spinae, the deep spinal stabilizers that protect the lumbar vertebrae. Hold position. Now tighten your glutes further. Imagine you're trying to crack a walnut between them. That additional 20% of glute activation is what separates this from a passive bridge into a genuine isometric load. Hold for 45 seconds. Breathe slowly. 3 seconds in, 3 seconds out. Where you should feel it. The glutes primarily, then the hamstrings, then a warm, deep pressure along the low back. Not pain, pressure. If you feel sharp lumbar pain, you've hyperextended. Drop your hips 2 centimeters and reset. The error at this hold: letting the hips drop 5 to 10% during the hold while telling yourself you're still holding. Set your phone timer. Trust the clock, not your perception. Variation for those with lumbar sensitivity. Keep feet elevated on a chair so your knees are at 90 degrees. This reduces the lumbar extension demand while maintaining the posterior chain load. Hold 3, the sitting mountain. Zuoshan Shi. This is wall sit, but executed with the precision the name implies. Back flat against a wall, fully flat, not just the upper back. Feet at shoulder width, approximately 18 inches from the wall. Lower until your thighs are parallel to the floor. Now flatten your lumbar spine against the wall. There should be no gap between your low back and the wall surface. This is where most men fail. They let the lower back arch away and think they're executing the hold. The moment the low back loses contact with the wall, you've shifted the load from the quads and hip flexors into the lumbar. Hold both arms out in front, parallel to the ground. Keep them there. 45 seconds is the first target. 90 seconds is the 4-week target. Feel it. The deep quad burn begins around 20 seconds. By 35 seconds, it becomes intense. By 45 seconds, it's demanding your full attention. That's the window where the adaptation happens, not before it gets hard. The error that kills results across this entire system. Stopping when the hold becomes uncomfortable, instead of maintaining position through the burn. The adaptation signal, the mechanical stress on tendon and connective tissue, requires sustained time under tension past the point of initial discomfort. Most men stop exactly when the training is about to start. Hold 4, star plucking. Zhai Xing Shu. Stand with feet shoulder width. Raise your right arm overhead, palm facing the ceiling, fingers spread. Simultaneously lower your left arm toward the floor, palm facing down. Now reach. Not a casual stretch, an active reach. Extend through both fingertips simultaneously in opposite directions, as if someone is pulling both hands from across the room. This creates a full lateral chain tension, from the fingertips of your raised hand, through your shoulder, through the trunk, through the hip, down the inner thigh. Hold for 3 slow breaths on each side. That's approximately 15 to 18 seconds per side. Do 4 rounds total. What you feel when this is correct. A deep stretch under the lower ribs on the raised arm side. Not in the shoulder, not in the neck, under the ribs, into the lateral lumbar. If you only feel shoulder stretch, your trunk isn't engaged. Push the raised hip slightly outward as you reach, and the sensation will shift to the correct location. The variation for limited shoulder mobility. Instead of raising the arm fully overhead, raise it only to 45 degrees. Elbow bent, forearm pointing toward the ceiling. The lateral chain tension still activates through the trunk. Extend the range gradually over 2 to 3 weeks as the shoulder opens. The error here, rushing the transition between sides. Take a full breath between switches. The lateral chain needs 1 full reset before loading the opposite side. Hold 5. The golden rooster stands on 1 leg. Jingi Duli. Stand on your left foot. Lift your right knee to hip height, thigh parallel to the floor. Arms can be held out slightly for balance or pressed together at the chest in a prayer position. Close your eyes. The moment your eyes close, the small stabilizing muscles in your ankle, knee, and hip begin working at 3 to 4 times the demand they have with eyes open. The visual system compensates for postural instability. Remove it, and the body is forced to develop the deep stabilizer infrastructure that prevents falls and protects joints under load. Hold for 30 seconds each side, eyes closed. Honest week 1 experience. Most men over 55 will feel strong wobble within 10 seconds. That's not failure. That's the test showing you where you are. You'll be measurably steadier by day 14. The error. Holding your breath because you're concentrating. You must breathe. The moment you hold your breath in a balance hold, you create intra-abdominal pressure that actually destabilizes the hips. Breathe slowly and let the wobble happen without fighting it. Variation for those with ankle instability. Stand near a wall with fingertips lightly touching, not gripping, the wall. Pull the fingertips away as soon as possible. Hold 6. The resting dragon. Wolong. Drop into a deep squat. Feet flat on the floor, heels must stay grounded. Feet at shoulder width or slightly wider. Your hips drop below knee height. Most Western men cannot do this on day 1, not because of strength, because of ankle dorsiflexion and hip mobility that years of chair sitting has eliminated. If you cannot hold a flat-footed deep squat, that is a reliable indicator of hip and ankle joint health decline. Once in the squat, rest your elbows on your inner knees, palms pressed together. This uses arm-to-leg counterpressure to keep the hips open, while the ankles and hip flexors are under sustained load. Hold for 60 seconds. Breathe. Let gravity do the work. If you can't get to flat feet, place a rolled towel under both heels. Decrease the heel lift week by week as your ankle mobility improves. Where you feel it. The inner groin and the Achilles simultaneously. Both are correct. This hold addresses the compression pattern that desk work and driving accelerate. Anterior hip shortening, posterior hip weakening, ankle stiffening. It reverses all 3 simultaneously. Hold 7. The iron T. Tieban. Stand with feet together. Hinge forward at the hips until your torso is parallel to the floor. Extend your right leg behind you until your body forms a straight horizontal T. One leg on the ground, torso and opposite leg creating one long line. Arms extend forward, in line with your torso. Fingers reach. This is the most demanding hold on the list. It requires every system developed in the previous 6 holds. Hip stability from Ma Bu, posterior chain from the iron bridge, balance from the golden rooster, and full chain tension from star plucking, all simultaneously. Hold for 20 seconds each side. 3 rounds. If you can't hold the position without the raised leg dropping, place your hands on a chair in front of you for the first 2 weeks. That's not a modification, that's the progression. What you feel. Intense deep glute on the standing leg, spinal extensors along the full length of the back, and anterior core bracing to hold the spine from buckling. This hold is the integration test. If holds 1 through 6 have been practiced for 2 weeks and this still collapses within 5 seconds, go back to the iron bridge for another week. 3 errors that kill results across this system. First, inconsistent hold depth. By week 3, most men start self-negotiating. Thighs stop at 70% parallel, the bridge drops, the squat gets shallower. The body adapts to the position you actually train, not the position you think you're training. Film yourself from the side once a week. Second, doing the holds out of sequence. The physiological benefit compounds when performed in order with 30 to 45 seconds of rest between each one. Each hold pre-activates the muscles the next one needs. Random order produces roughly half the result. Third, stopping at the first burn instead of holding through it. The adaptation signal requires sustained tension past initial discomfort. Most men stop exactly when the training is about to start. Week 1. Quads and glutes will be heavily loaded. Balance holds will wobble. The deep squat will likely need heel elevation. Soreness will be stronger than expected. Weeks 2 and 3. The wobble in the balance hold decreases noticeably. The wall sit adds 15 to 20 seconds without effort. Soreness shifts from prime movers into smaller stabilizers. Outer hip, mid-back. Month 1. Retest the grip hold. Most men add 12 to 20 seconds. The deep squat gains 2 to 3 centimeters of depth. Tendon and connective tissue adaptation continues building through 90 days. 7 holds, performed in sequence, 3 times per week minimum. Total time, 18 minutes. Every hold teaches the body to produce maximum fiber recruitment under zero movement conditions, the precise condition that builds connective tissue and deep stabilizer strength that conventional training cannot reach. 2 things to do today. Tonight, test the grip hold on your door frame and write the number down. Tomorrow morning before coffee, run holds 1 through 3, just the first 3, 30 seconds each. The warning. If you have a known tendon injury in the knee or shoulder, holds 2 and 7 require clearance before loading. The monk in Henan province starts before sunrise. The practice is the habit is the practice, and the result is visible in how his body moves at 68. That's available to you. It starts with 30 seconds in a horse stance tomorrow morning. Subscribe. There are 6 more Shaolin protocols coming over the next 2 months. Leave a comment with your grip hold number from tonight. I want to see where you're starting from, and I want to see your 30-day number when you come back. If you know a man over 55 who's been told his strength is just going to keep declining, send him this video.